Are you tired of failing? Tired of every day feeling like it's just being wasted? In the game of life, there are those who rise to the peak of power and influence, and you have your average person who can only hope to try and level up to reach the top of the hierarchy, in which you can either take the challenge of trying to continue to rise to the top or plateau and continue to live a life of mediocrity. This is WangInsights. And today, I'm going to show you guys how to level up in life just like Jinwoo from Solo Leveling. And yes, it is pronounced Jinwoo in the English dub for my sub-only people. If you're not willing to watch this video to the very end, you have shown me that you're comfortable with living a mediocre and mundane life, which in that case, less competition for me. But for those who will take these steps seriously, get out your pen and notepad. Without further ado, let's get right into it. For those who aren't familiar with Solo Leveling, it's an anime about our main protagonist, Jinwoo, who is the weakest hunter in the show, an E rank. As a hunter, you were unable to change the rank you were given unless somehow you had a reawakening. Fortunately for Jinwoo, he was able to reawaken with the ability to level up independently. This would lead to him to climb the ranks of hunters and become one of the strongest in the series, which leads us to our first point. Mentality. Some of us are born in circumstances that leave us feeling like we are only destined for something small or that we aren't able to amount to something great. However, that is far from the truth. We are not born as tools with set roles on what we could be in life. Us as humans are far more complex than that. It starts with the belief that we can accomplish anything we want in life, as long as we work hard towards that goal and take active steps. As Robert Greene says in the 48 Laws of Power, Law 34, act like a king to be treated like one. If you can project to the world with dignity and confidence that you're destined for great things and you demand a high price, people will think you're worth it. You'll accrue power and respect. Your belief in yourself will help you create a self-fulfilling prophecy that will allow you to rise up. Regardless of Jinwoo's rank, he never gave up no matter how scared he was and put others before himself. Think of episode 2. When he asked his companions to leave him in the dungeon or allowed the others to flee, he was willing to stay and pay the ultimate price. Even after his reawakening, he was able to keep the mentality that he could be in any dungeons he came across no matter the rank. By believing he was strong, he could continue to level up and become an S rank. However, he couldn't have done that without constantly training, which leads us to point 2, exercise. Working out does more than just build muscle. It boosts your confidence, improves your mental health, increases focus, and helps fight anxiety and depression. Studies show that just 30 minutes of exercise a few times a week can significantly raise your energy levels and cognitive performance. When you feel strong, you carry yourself differently. You walk into rooms with your chest up, you start believing you can take on everything. After Jinwoo reawakened, he didn't stop grinding. He continued pushing his body to the limit, because strength allows you to be more capable. Maybe it's lifting something heavy, defending somebody, and it could even improve your mind. It simply gives you an edge. Jinwoo trains intensely, as his workout consists of 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and running 6.2 miles. While a lot of you may not be able to start off by doing a workout just like this, if you are able to create a workout that is intense enough to push your body and test your mental strength, you will undoubtedly start to become the best looking version of yourself. Remember, intensity defeats extensity every time. Before I go into this next section, I want to give a quick manga spoiler warning. With that said, let's move on. Jinwoo throughout Solo Leveling always would take himself over others to aid him. He is extremely persistent with only relying on his shadows and himself. Perfect example of this when he started the Ajin Guild. He would then take on raids only with the help of his shadows. In the 48 Laws of Power, Law 2 states, never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Be wary of the friends, they will betray you more quickly, for they are easily aroused to envy. They also become more spoiled and tyrannical. But hire a former enemy, and he will be more loyal than a friend, because he has more to prove. In fact, you have more to fear from friends than from enemies. If you have no enemies, find a way to make them. He uses this law perfectly, as he is able to defeat enemies in dungeons later and add them to his shadow army who will continue to be faithful to him. He is aware that by relying on yourself, you will continue to stay in power, as you will push yourself in a way that makes you competent enough to do things yourself and get them done efficiently. Even though he is self-reliant, he still makes connections and gains respect from others, which takes us to our next point. Relationships. Jinwoo develops a lot of relationships throughout Solo Leveling. With many hunters from a variety of ranks, he's able to do this so easily because of how much he is admired by others. From E rank all the way to national level hunters, he does one law so effectively, which makes all the people around him admire him, which is Law 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. Your actions must be seen as natural and executed with ease. All the toil and practice that goes into them, also all the clever tricks must be concealed. When you act effortlessly, as if you could do much more. Avoid the temptation of revealing how hard you work. It only raises questions. Teach no one your tricks, or they will be used against you. During the Jeju Island arc, this law is best displayed. After the Korean S-rank hunters were nearly defeated, Jinwoo had showed up spontaneously, which had all hunters in shock. He was even skeptical about using his shadow attraction in front of all the other hunters, let alone live TV. He knew people would start to question his insane power and would cause him to be bombarded by media outlets. Regardless, all of that, he was still able to defeat the Ant King Baru, which made all the hunters respect him much more than they already had. His ability to defeat high-ranked dungeons with ease initially is what drew many of the S-ranks towards him, along with even the Hunters Association. His constant drive to level up and become better will draw many to him, but he wouldn't be able to keep that drive without our final point. Why? Developing a strong why will allow you to keep pushing forward even in the toughest of times. For Jinwoo, it was helping cure his mother. The demon castle was treacherous, having 100 floors with many high-ranked bosses to fight, but he knew he would have to help his mother. He was able to obtain the elixir of life after clearing the castle, which he later used to cure his mother from eternal sleep. Even just when becoming a hunter, when he was weak, he knew he had to help his sister pay for school. He always had a why to fall back on regardless of how tough things got. By developing a strong why, you will be able to persist through many hard tasks. To develop your why, do these steps. Ask yourself, why does this matter to me? Also ask yourself, what about it makes me emotional? That could be in a bad or a good way. Connect it to an action. An example of that could be, I want to break a generational cycle. So the action would be to study hard, build wealth, lead others. Then finally, make sure you write it down and remind yourself of it constantly. After taking those steps, you should fully be able to develop your why. Hunter Sung shows us that we can all reach the top as long as we continue to take the proper steps. As long as you are consistent with these steps, you too will climb to the heights of power and will be your best self. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, drop a comment about what your favorite tip was or what your goals will be. I'd love to hear what other characters or animes I should cover, so please let me know. Be sure to check out my last video about setting goals. I'm sure you'll love it. That being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Young demon, the soul reflection, now I'm like, whoa. Once you've entered my domain expansion, there's no way to go. All the walls around you turn to ice, blood begins to flow, and the likelihood of you leaving alive is hit the flow. Call me Shamron Hashirama, black hair.